welcome. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you? Holding up nicely.
Yeah. Can we talk a little about how this whole idea of working from home? We tend to wear our pajamas all day long, and it's possibly not the wisest thing to do because it also affects the way you work, isn't it?
No, certainly.
Do you have any tips for us on how to be stylish and look comfortable?
Right. So in a setup in an organization like mine, where we're actually manufacturing driven, it means, you can be designing at home and looking at ideas and doing your sketches, but all of that has to be implemented only through a production pipeline.
Right.
So to buy the fabric, so that requires manpower. Dye the fabric, that requires manpower. Cut, stitch, sew, embroider. So ours is actually a production manufacturing kind of a business. Even though fashion design as a whole is considered a design idea, but it's backed tremendously by manufacturing. Otherwise, it only remains
right. Yeah.
So, so having said that, my team and I are talking every day about ideas, what we could have done, what we should have done, what we will do in the future. Things we like on Pinterest, any fabric ideas, whatever. But as a person, as a team, and as people who have this very unexpected quarantine, I must say the first week or so I was quite surprised and also happy to have had the time to stay in my pajamas and my t-shirt and my shorts all day. Because this was, it was just such a novel idea for me, because I'm one of those people who work 7 days a week, 24 hours. I work a lot basically.
Right.
So we're working on shows and collections and ideas and presentations and talks and travels and trunk shows. So, I don't get a lot of downtime. So I was actually quite happy to have the downtime to start with. And then I realized that, if you stay in your pajamas, if you stay in your shorts and t-shirt the entire day, essentially it becomes very, you start feeling very sluggish. And you start really feeling as though you're being forced to be in a quarantine. So besides having to exercise to counter Manisha's beautiful pastas, besides 1.5 hours, so I do a 10,000 step walk every evening.
Okay, so how do you manage that within the confines of your...
So, obviously when you have to do your 10,000 steps, it's a form of exercise. So even though you might be wearing shorts and t-shirt, you sweat a lot. It's actually an exercise mode.
Right.
At the end of that, you have to then have a shower, shave, get ready, and wear a nice kurta pajama, or wear a nice, trouser or a t-shirt. Or you change. You come out of your sweaty clothes, your dirty clothes, your sleeping clothes, and wear something. So, every evening I do this. I actually exercise, and then I wear a nice, I've just worn something, simple, nice kurta. Then I might have a snack, which hopefully Manish will send me.
We all hope.
and then you have a drink or have a nice dinner. So I think clothing, and Kaveri, you and I have talked about this at long extent, and I feel fashion is a very, very true reflection of the times that we live in. It has been very well said and very well documented. So, whether it's pre-war time, whether it's the Depression, whether it's the joyful, the roaring 20s and 30s and 70s, the movies, fashion truly is a reflection of our times. So what we are going through right now, it really does reflect that you're being forced to be quarantined. It is not something that people are happy to do beyond a point. So, of course, comfort is one thing, but like what Manish said earlier, and you said, mental health is probably more important than just being forced to be in quarantine. So, how do you keep yourself joyful? How do you keep yourself focused? How do you keep yourself feeling professional? How do you keep yourself feeling worthy? I think, these are important aspects of clothing and fashion, I think, at this time.
So what are the simple tips you can give us, Suneet, on how we can do that?
Yeah, we're also on the onslaught of summer, Kaveri. We're on the onslaught of summer. So it's important that, you dress comfortably, even if you're in your homes and you have fans and air conditioners and air coolers. You still want to be able to dress comfortably, and so it's not necessary that you have to wear your leather shoes all the time. You can wear a pair of jeans and a nice t-shirt, but you can be in your chappals.
Yeah.
So that much you can allow yourself. But I wouldn't say that, be happy to be in your dirty shorts and t-shirts the whole day.
Yeah.
I would not recommend that. I would say comfort is really important. I would say keeping the summer temperature is important. I would say even, you can use more friendly fabrics. You can have more cotton things without polyester. You can actually have fabrics that breathe better. You can have fabrics that stretch better. So it could be t-shirts or shorts or track pants. Because obviously you cannot be sitting on a desk the whole day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're lying in the bed, sometimes you're taking a nap, sometimes you're watching something, reading the news. So comfort becomes really important as well, I think. Yeah.
Ira, thanks, Suneet. Suneet, we have a question again from Chandrakant to you. How does one declutter the wardrobe at this time?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question from Chandrakant. And I Kaveri, believe it or not, I think most of my friends and my family members, and I'm sure maybe even Ira and many of you, have actually opened their wardrobes and looked at it and said, I only wear 3 of these things.
Exactly.
Me.
I only wear this, so I don't need this, so why do I have so many of the same, So most certainly, I have 2 cupboards full of clothing, and one is what I wear regularly and the other not so regularly, and some winter clothes. And I've actually cleaned up one of them.
Wow.
I think the first week that we were here, I gave away some coats, some trousers, some jackets, some that I've outgrown, some that have become old. You just need to give it away. And the great thing about clothing is that if they're nice pieces of clothing and you've invested well in them, somebody else will enjoy them for a very long time.
Right.
So you don't have to throw them away. You can give them to the blind school. You can give them to your house help. You can I gave it to my workers at my office.
Yeah. You can give them to me, Suneet. I don't mind.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'll take some too, actually.
Happily. And I think this is really important. You have to declutter your clothing, And then also when you're doing that, you also discover things that you actually really enjoy, So and which you haven't worn for a long time, or which have been hidden away somewhere behind you. So like coming back to again what Manish said, Dani ka soup, I actually have beautiful shawls, which I inherited from my dadi and my nani.
Right.
Which had been lying in a hanger, very neatly, nicely covered for the last 5-7 years. Yeah. And I'd forgotten about them. So brought them out after dry cleanness over and begin to use them again and wear them. So I think wardrobe decluttering is a really important
the Marie Kondo technique.
And it declutters your life. You start from there.
Yeah. How you stay sane and healthy, and how you...
I'm actually, believe it or not, something quite sane. I have a partner who I live with who's completely insane. So, so one of us has to stay sane. And of course, my mother lives down the road from me, and I have a huge responsibility. So I make it.
Are you able to meet her?
No, I have not been able to meet her, even though she lives 10 houses down from me. But interestingly enough, I would see her maybe every other day, usually. But now I talk to her 3 or 4 times a day on the phone and about 3 or 4 times on video call. So interestingly enough, we have far more interaction right now.
Right.
And I think, to keep her sanity, I do a lot of Zoom chat with my brother and sister, watch a lot of television. I must admit, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I've stopped reading too much news.
Right.
That's a great thing. Yeah. That's a very good thing.
About a week, thank you. About a week ago, I decided that I wasn't going to read too much news because it just seems like a number thing, 30,000 dead in Mexico, 40,000 dead here. It's become a statistic. It doesn't really talk about life in a more human manner. It's become more like a statistic game. And I think, you need to kind of keep yourself healthy and you need to keep yourself sane, whether it means eating at the right time, like when he said, doing the exercise. I don't do yoga like Ira, but I do walk 10 times a day, which is about a 1.5 hour very, very fast-paced walking. I try to cook, believe it or not. I love to cook. One of my favorite things from my mother's house is kurkuri bhindi, and I didn't know from anywhere in the world how to make it, but she showed me on WhatsApp how to, on video. So last night I made kurkuri bhindi. Very proud of myself.
Very well done. Manish, that can be a dish in Indian accent soon.
Absolutely.
It can be a guest chef.
Yeah.
Great.